Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a good Thursday. Again, dealing with a little bit of snow today in Lincoln and across a good chunk of the state. As again, we've had a system move through, still moving through, still bringing some areas of snow across parts of the state. And we'll talk about a little bit about kind of what we've seen so far in terms of some of the snow that's already reached the ground. Look at kind of maybe what we could see moving forward as we head through the remainder of the day on your Thursday. And we will endeavor to search for maybe some warmer weather heading our way sometime in the forecast. But again, not a huge system that's moved on through. Snowfall totals that we've seen so far aren't enormous, but we'll go ahead and we'll take a look. First, though, we're going to look at road conditions right now here in the capital city. These are our city traffic cameras, and you can see, again, the snow we've had in Lincoln, fairly wet snow. We've actually had 1,400 of an inch of liquid precipitation at the airport so far today, and less than an inch of snow at the Lincoln airport. So again, a lot of what we've seen has already melted on the road. So again, not a lot of snow on the roads. Again, it's wet out there, kind of misty, drizzly. And again, as you're driving, certainly on the main thoroughfares, again, getting a lot of sort of that mist and kind of spatter kicked up from the vehicles potentially driving in front of you. So again, you do have to use the wipers as you're out and about. Roads are wet, but certainly I don't think they're too slick here in Lincoln. Again, certainly on the main roads. Again, some of those side streets, sidewalks, parking lots may have a little bit of slush on them and maybe a bit slippery. But again, overall, again, if you look at the main areas, traffic seems to be moving fairly well this morning. Again, here's a look at 70th and Pioneers. Again, you can see mainly just wet roads, some light snow accumulating kind of on the grassy surfaces. We had never expected this to be a huge snow, but again, things, at least for right now, seem to be moving through fairly well. So that is good news. We look at sky cams from across the state. Again, right now here in the capital city, not really precipitating at the moment, but it is chilly, 35 degrees at the airport. So again, if we do see any moisture, if we do see any snow falling, it may be melting as it hits the ground with the temperature a few degrees above freezing. Feels, though, like 29 with a light northwest wind at 7 miles an hour. We are seeing, my graphics, we locked up here. Might have to give me a second. Give it a minute. Of course, my computer program doesn't want to respond. Okay, hold on one moment. All right, we had to restart the program here, so give me 1 second. I guess my weather software doesn't like what we have going on today, so it's just not going to cooperate, which, again, we've talked a lot about this week, how it's just kind of been gray, kind of dreary, and today, kind of no different, just kind of adding some snow into the mix with it as well. So give me 1 second here, and we'll get this computer program pulled back up. There we go. Getting close. And of course, I mean, it's state basketball. So of course we have to have at least a little bit of snow here in Lincoln. All right, there we go. Well, not everything's back there, but we're getting better. Okay. So there's a live look at York. Again, you can see some snow on the rooftops, nothing really on the roads. Chilly, 30 degrees the temperature, feels like 24 with a little bit of a breeze out there. O'Neill in northern Nebraska seeing a little bit more snow today. Again, you can see some fresh powder there on the ground in O'Neill. 26 there, temperature 17 is the feels like temperature with a light northwest wind. So here's a look at the snowfall reports we have thus far. Again, we'll still likely get more in through the day today, but again, this is just what we have so far. Again, the highest report so far is near Plattsmouth, about 3.5 inches of snow reported just to the southeast of the Plattsmouth area. And again, kind of the highest snowfall totals thus far have kind of been in east central into parts of southeastern Nebraska, with around 2 to 3 inches of snow. 3 inches of snow near Elmwood, 2.5 inches of snow near Weeping Water, again, as well as in Plattsmouth. Near Murray, just over 2 inches of snow, 1.5 to around 2 inches in areas like Bloomfield, Alvo, Cedar Creek, near Gretna, right at 1.5 inches in Nebraska City. Near Papillion, again, a 1.4. Near Bennett, 1.4. Brownville in Nemaha County, 1.3. North out west in North Platte, 1.3. Friend, just about $1.2 inches of snow near Steiner, right around an inch. Denton, right around an inch. Tecumseh, right around an inch. The Lincoln Airport, again, their number so far today is 9/10 of an inch in Lincoln. Again, that comes with 0.14 of an inch of liquid precipitation. So again, high liquid content snow. And again, likely seeing some rain mixed in there at times as well as it precipitated. 1011 Studios, we have 7/10 of an inch here at 40th and Vine. The Hastings Weather Office reported, I'll take down my ticker and my bug there so you can see those. The Hastings Weather Office reported 1/2 inch of snow, and at the Grand Island Airport, they recorded 1/10 of an inch of snow. So again, not a huge snowstorm by any means, but we did see at least a little bit of snow across many areas. Across the state. Road conditions aren't terrible. Again, in southeastern Nebraska, mainly it's just wet roads. We do have some covered roads in, let's see, I think that's, my counties escape me right now. Just to the west of Fairbury, have some completely covered roads right now. If you head across northeastern and northern Nebraska, that's where we're seeing more partially to completely covered roads. That's where we expected some of the heavier snow to fall. So in areas up near Wayne, Norfolk, O'Neill, Ainsworth, Atkinson, Valentine, seeing those completely to partially covered roads. So again, if you're traveling this morning, you want to make sure you take it slow, give yourself extra time, especially in these areas. In, again, North Platte, Lincoln County, partially covered roads. They didn't see quite as much snow, and then out in the Panhandle, they really didn't see much of anything. But again, you can see if you look at the statewide view there, again, the worst conditions are into central and northern parts of the state, and that's where we saw the heaviest snow. That's kind of where we expected to see the heaviest snow, and most of the snow that we're going to see likely has already fallen out there right now. We do still, though, have some winter weather advisories that are in place across the state. We in Lincoln and Lancaster County, we were added to that winter weather advisory. That only goes for another, what time is it now? 11:30. For another 30 minutes. It goes until the noon hour. For central Nebraska, Grand Island, and Hastings, also that runs through noon. For North Platte and western Nebraska, also through noon. For the northern tier of the state, that goes through 6 p.m. tonight, so a little bit longer. So through 6 p.m. areas like Valentine, Ainsworth, and O'Neill. Up in northeastern Nebraska, so the Norfolk area. Again, that also is running, it looks like, through noon. And then into far northeastern Nebraska, that also runs through 6. So again, for most of the state, these winter weather advisories are going to be coming off the board here in about 30 minutes or so at noon. And then that northern tier of counties, that winter weather advisory runs through 6, where we could continue to see some areas of light snow and maybe some drizzle and freezing drizzle as well. So again, total snowfall potential. Again, most of what we will have seen today has already fallen. But again, this is a look at the map that we're running with right now. Again, a trace to an inch, maybe trace to 1.5 inches in the Lincoln area and across much of Lancaster County. As you head north of the interstate, that's where we're talking maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow. And again, the far northern parts of the state is where we have always expected the heaviest snow to fall, with around 3 to 5 inches. So again, so far the forecast, generally speaking, has panned out for us. Visibility, again, with snow still falling across some of the state, kind of hit and miss, depends on where you are, but visibility can kind of go from okay to not so great pretty quickly. Visibility down to a 1/4 mile right now in Broken Bow, as well as Norfolk, 1.25 miles in Lexington, as well as Albion, Wayne, down generally below 5 miles for much of central and eastern Nebraska, though, with, again, some of those areas of mist, freezing drizzle, areas of snow as well. So again, if you're going to be driving later today, you may run into some spots that you see the visibility go down pretty quickly. So again, give yourself a little bit of extra following distance there. Temperatures again shortly before noon, anywhere from the lower 20s in parts of northwestern Nebraska to the upper 30s in the southeast. Falls City right now is the warm spot at 38 degrees. It's 35 in Lincoln, 30 in Grand Island, 28 in North Platte. Winds, thankfully, with this system, not too much to write home about. Generally out of the north and west at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So you factor that in, wind chills are in the teens, 20s, and 30s across the state. Here's a look at the satellite and radar picture. Again, still have areas of snow kind of slowly swinging through the state. Again, this is mainly light snow, some pockets of maybe more moderate snow mixed in there at times, but this is going to continue to slide to the east as we head through the remainder of the early to afternoon hours. So again, still could see some light snow in Grand Island, Hastings, Kearney, as well as in the Lincoln area as we head later this afternoon. Again, likely for Lincoln and southeastern Nebraska, could see a little bit of a wintry mix as, again, our temperatures are a few degrees above freezing. So, again, I don't think we'll see much more in the way of accumulations, maybe a few tenths of an inch at most, but I think most of the accumulating snow has really fallen, and anything else we see moving forward this afternoon, I think, should remain on the lighter side. I will give a caveat to that. I think parts of northeastern Nebraska still could maybe pick up around an inch or two with some of the snow they have falling up there. So if you look at Skycast, not doing a super great job with the aerial coverage of the snowfall, but if we look at terms of the timing, again, this is at noon, you can see it kind of moves that snow east through the area and then out of the area as we head through the afternoon. I think by 5 o'clock, most of the snow is done with. We could even see the clouds beginning to break up as we head towards later tonight, but it'll only be a brief reprieve from any cloud cover because as we head into the day on Friday, more clouds are expected to kind of filter back in as we should see another kind of partly to mostly cloudy, another kind of gray day for us across much of the state through the day on Friday, but it does look like we should be mainly dry through the day on Friday. Another chance for some moisture, light moisture. Looks like it could head our way Friday night into the day on Saturday. In terms of temperatures, highs this afternoon ranging from the upper 20s to the upper 30s from north to south in Lincoln. I think we're right around, 38 degrees. Same in Grand Island and Hastings as well as North Platte. Coldest readings likely across north central sections of the state. Areas like Valentine, Ainsworth, and O'Neill likely not cracking the 30s this afternoon. Low temperatures tonight, again, with some of that clearing, some spots could get colder. We're looking at mid-teens to mid-20s. Again, these numbers certainly aren't bad for early to mid-March. Highs on Friday staying below normal across the state. We'll say most of 10-11 countries in the mid-30s to the mid-40s. Low 40s here in Lincoln as well as the Tri-Cities and North Platte. Our average high, 50 degrees now. So again, about 10 degrees below normal to finish the work week on Friday. So we head into the weekend on Saturday. Low temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s, so not bad. Temperatures try and moderate for some on Saturday, but again, staying well below normal for most of the state, generally in the upper 30s to upper 40s. Warmest readings in the Panhandle. Again, Lincoln, we're in the low 40s. We should be in the low 50s for this time of year. Maybe a few degrees better for areas in south central and southwestern Nebraska, but still a little bit cooler. We've had a run of some really nice weekends in Lincoln, I think really for the past 5 or 6 weeks. But that looks like it maybe comes to an end on Saturday and Sunday. Again, we'll also see that chance for some precipitation on Saturday as well. Sunday morning lows, upper teens to upper 20s, and then Sunday afternoon highs to finish the weekend, again staying below normal, a mix of 20s, 30s, and 40s to round out the weekend. Here's the 10-day forecast. Again, kind of pick your city and try and find your numbers there. There are a lot of numbers. But the trend as we head over the next 10 days is through the rest of this week and through this weekend and into early next week, temperatures staying below normal. Then Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we see a nice bump in temperatures climbing back up to near normal, if not a few degrees above average. In Lincoln, we could be low to mid 50s Tuesday, mid to upper 50s by next Wednesday. But then temperatures begin to come back down again as our long-range models and long-range outlooks continue to favor cooler than normal conditions. So I kind of talked about this yesterday, but in February we had a lot of above average conditions. We would see brief cool downs, but then we'd warm right back up. This March kind of seems to be the opposite, where our baseline is more cooler than normal conditions. We'll have a brief warm up and then we come right back down again. So that's kind of what it looks like for us as we head over the next 10 days. I want to jump backwards really quick and look at the snowfall reports again one last time in case anyone jumped on late, and just kind of go through these snowfall reports one last time. Again, not a huge snow by any means. Some of the bigger snowfall reports we have so far, we'll continue to update this list as the day goes on, are kind of across east central sections of the state. Plattsmouth, 2 to 3 to 3.5 inches of snow reported in the Plattsmouth area. And again, across that east central kind of section of the state into southeastern Nebraska, about 1 to 3 inches is what we've seen thus far. At the Lincoln Airport, just under an inch at 9/10. 1011 Studios at 40th and Vine, 7/10 of an inch. Official numbers from Hastings and Grand Island are 1/2 inch and 1/10 of an inch of snow so far today. But again, we could add maybe a few tenths of an inch onto these numbers as we head through the remainder of the day today. But again, most of our accumulating snow has likely fallen, and we could just see some lingering light snow as we head through the remainder of the day on your Thursday. As always, meteorologist Brad Anderson will have more details and go over all this again coming up on 1011 now at noon. And then meteorologist Brandon Rector will have details at 4. Chief meteorologist Ken Chimick at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock tonight as well. And actually, I did just get an update on our winter weather advisories. So it looks like they just extended the time on these winter weather advisories. Yeah, so it looks like now Lincoln and Lancaster County, as well as Gage, Jefferson, Saline, and other counties, you can kind of see them outlined there. That our winter weather advisory now runs until 3 o'clock this afternoon. It was noon, but now it is 3 o'clock. For Grand Island, Hastings, it still looks like that's through noon, so for another 20 or so minutes. Northeastern Nebraska until 3. North Platte until noon. Northern Nebraska until 6. So late this afternoon, early this evening is when those winter weather advisories run through in Lincoln. That's until 3 o'clock this afternoon now, not noon like I had said earlier. Again, mixed precipitation, possible additional snow accumulations of a few tenths, maybe up to 1 inch. I think 1 inch might be a little aggressive. But not quite done with the snow. Again, there's still some lingering light snow out there if you look at the radar. And again, as we head over the next several hours, this will continue to swing through the area, a few tenths, maybe up to an inch of snow possible later this afternoon. But like I said, Brad will have the latest details here at noon. Brandon and Ken later this afternoon and this evening. As always, I would encourage everyone to keep attuned to 1011, both on air and online, and on our streaming studio for the latest news, weather, and sports. I hope everyone has a nice day.